Well, it's been some time since I made a video, but now and again so much stupid gets transmitted that a video just writes itself. So strap yourself in and let's enter the world of Ranty and Brandon. A week or so ago, Ranty posted this picture on his community feed. In fact, he liked it so much he posted it twice, asking Globers to state what was wrong with it. Now, he never did say in the comments what his issue was with the picture, but assuming he thought the proportion of the moon looked wrong, I did a few calculations and proved to him that it's correct. Unsurprisingly, he never replied. Critical Think made a great video calculating the field of view of the image and establishing the scale is correct, as well as matching the curvature we'd expect to see at the altitude of the GOES-16 satellite that took this photo. A link to his video is in the description. Brandon and his band of merry men played some of this during their discussion the following day, but conveniently left out all of the calculations Critical Think showed. So let's hear what they have to say about it and see if their claims are correct.
It just, at first glance, I look at this and I go, that's fake. It just looks so dang fake.
So that's argument number one against the image. It looks fake. Fake compared to what, Brandon? You can't trust your eyes to tell you if something is real or not, especially when you have no frame of reference to compare to. For example, the squares A and B in this image look like totally different shades of grey. It's only when you add another square as a reference point between the two that you realise they're exactly the same. You think every photo from space is fake in any case, so what is your gold standard of realness that you're comparing to? You want this image to be fake, therefore you see it as fake. Have you ever viewed the Earth from a distance of 22,000 miles? No? Then by what standard are you comparing this image to in order to claim it looks fake? Enough of that, on to the next point.
Not exactly a scientific analysis, but, do we really need one? We're talking about a picture somebody gave us and told us it was from space, so how scientific do we have to be? It's like, that's fake.
Well, not really a point, but I'm going to show you that we can be a lot more scientific than you're about to be, Brandon. So let's hear what you have to say.
If you're going to zoom in, that moon is not going to be there. You would have to be at a higher angle, farther away to zoom in. You would have to be above the moon. If you're going to, just imagine that you're in a weather balloon or whatever, and you're 120,000 feet. I would venture to guess if you're at 120,000 feet and you do a 360, you're not going to see the moon.
What a very strange thing to say. You can stand on the ground, do a 360 and see the moon if it's close to the horizon. You really don't understand things being behind each other, do you? This is basically a moonset or a moonrise viewed from over 20,000 miles away. I really don't get what's hard to understand here, so next.
Well, the light source on the moon is definitely below the Earth there, isn't it?
That's what it looks like, yeah.
But the light source on the clouds is above it. And the clouds of the Earth is above it. It's fake. Definitely fake.
Yeah.
Okay, so you think the light sources don't match. Well, let's take a look, shall we? So you think the section of the Earth shown doesn't match the illuminated portion of the moon. Well, if we take this piece of Earth, as I have done, and move it up to the moon without rotating, laying it over proportionally, if we blow that up we can see that it fits perfectly just here, in the lit part of the moon. So it's evident that, just as we'd expect, both bodies are lit in a very similar way from the same distant light source. Okay, that's that one done. Let's see if your next argument holds any water.
And we can't prove it. There's no, smoking gun that we have. We can point out stuff like the moon, the size of the moon is too big, or...
Okay, great. Point number 2. The size of the moon is too big. Well, we can test that out too. This completely not to scale diagram represents the orientation of the three bodies involved in that image. The satellite taking the photo over 35,000 kilometers from the Earth's surface, peeking over the edge of the Earth at the moon another 380,000 or so kilometers behind the Earth. So here's the distances from the satellite. which is around 42,157 kilometres from the Earth's centre and 426,557 kilometres from the Moon. And here's the diameters of the Earth and the Moon. So now we have everything that we need to perform a simple angular size calculation so that we can predict what the apparent sizes of the Earth and Moon should be at those distances. The calculations are on the screen and result in an angular size of the Earth of 17.2 degrees and the Moon at 0.47 degrees. So dividing the angular size of the Earth by the Moon, we find that proportionally the Earth should appear to be 36.6 times larger than the Moon. Now let's compare that to the image itself. I've drawn a circle to match the size the entire Earth would be if we could see all of it based on the curvature that we can see in the image. The circle is 4,966 pixels in this image and the Moon has a diameter of 137 pixels. Dividing one by the other shows us that in the image the Earth is 36.2 times larger than the Moon. So we would expect the Earth to be just over 36 times larger than the Moon from this location, and that's exactly what we see in the image. In fact, my back of an envelope prediction matches the image with an accuracy of 99%. We can go one step further and model this view in AutoCAD in full scale. As you can see, the model, based on the sizes and positions of the three bodies, matches the image perfectly. Feel free to try this for yourself in any 3D modelling software. So, what's the problem?
The problem is, with that image, and I'll just explain it in one go for all these globers that are listening, is that the Moon that's presented with the amount of curvature shown on the spherical Earth that you believe in, right? The size of the Moon in comparison to the curvature that is seen in the image doesn't match reality. Very simple. That amount of curvature to that size of Moon, even if it is zoomed in, even if you've cropped it out and it's a really high definition image, and let's suppose it's real, and you're saying it's real, but that amount of curvature that you're seeing there with that size of Moon just doesn't match reality. There's reality. You can see reality from weather, from balloon launches, and this is reality, guys. This is how small the Moon looks when you get out of our atmosphere. So obviously the image that was taken was out of our atmosphere again, so it should also be a very small Moon, but it's not.
Do I really have to explain this, Ranty? The further away from Earth you are, the more of the horizon you'll see in the same shot. From the GOES satellite over 35,000 kilometres from the Earth's surface, you can zoom in on the Moon with a narrow field of view and still see a large expanse of curved horizon. Like this. From a weather balloon only a few miles above the surface, even with no zoom and a wide field of view, you're seeing a much, much smaller section of horizon in the frame, because you're closer to the Earth. So the curvature compared to the Moon's apparent size will be very different and very small in the case of the balloon. The Earth has become much larger in apparent size, but due to the Moon's distance, its apparent size will hardly change. Or in other words, this Earth is close, and this one is far away. Close, far away. Close, far away. This is the problem with the entire flat Earth and space denier movement. Many will try and tell you they're seeking the truth and using scientific reasoning to do so. But in every single case, their argument comes down to either a lack of knowledge of basic physics or geometry, or even worse, as in this case, absolutely no analysis at all, and one simple statement: it looks fake to me. So next time someone tells you an image is fake, ask them for the calculations or analysis they have done to determine this. If they can't supply anything and rely purely on their own personal incredulity, then they have no argument. They're simply interpreting the image in whichever way suits their own narrative. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay safe everyone.